In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can be seen on every single platform, how you can attract leads and clients daily, and how you can do this without hiring a big team, without living online 24/7, and how you can do this in an hour a day. When you apply what I'm about to share with you, you're going to 10x your exposure, you're going to have leads rolling in daily, and you're going to have ready to buy appointments on your calendar rolling in. My name's Somji. I've scaled my own coaching business from zero to over $100,000 a month in just 8 months' time, and I've helped 200 other coaches and info product creators scale their businesses to 6 to 7 figures as well. I can see you being nosy and really checking out what's on the board behind me, so let's head to the whiteboard and I'll break this all down for you. Now, in order to be everywhere and get these leads coming in and appointments booking in ready to buy on your calendar, there's a few things we need to do to accomplish this. So I've listed 7 of them out on the board here. I'm going to run through them really quickly, and then we are going to break down each one step by step and show you how to install it in your business. So we're going to start with the first one is, why do you actually need to be everywhere? You've probably heard the age-old advice of pick one platform and go deep. I'll explain why that doesn't apply anymore and why you need to be everywhere. Next, the way people buy has changed. You may have noticed in past years, the way people are buying has drastically changed. I'm going to help you position yourself correctly into the psychology of your leads and buyers so that you're working with human psychology and not against it and tapping into the way that people prefer to buy nowadays. Then we're going to discuss the client attraction cheat code. When you install this, people are going to be very enthusiastic to become leads. They're going to come to your sales calls. They're going to book themselves in and they're going to pre-sell themselves. So that's going to be a key one. Next is the 3 content types that you must use in your business. Missing even one of these will just sabotage all your efforts and the system won't work. Then entering the web. This is pretty sexy. I love this one. We're going to bring your leads into like a spider web. It's sticky. The only way out is if they buy. Professionalism. We're going to discuss how doing this and installing this whole system is going to make you look more professional and lead to higher conversions. And then I'm going to show you how to do this all in an hour a day, because I'm sure you have a business already, you are serving clients, and maybe, just maybe, you have a social life and you don't just want to be working on your business 24/7. We're going to show you how to do that in an hour a day. So let's start at the top. Why do you actually need to be everywhere? Again, you've probably heard the age-old advice of picking one platform and going deep. And I'm in a great position to discuss this because I actually used to preach this. When I built my business, I had a couple of platforms like an email list, but 90, if not 95% of my leads and clients came directly from my Facebook profile and my Facebook group. Now I don't recommend that advice. It's very different. So picking one platform and going deep can be very powerful. But there's 2 main reasons why you don't want to do that nowadays. What happens if you do that? You pour your heart and soul and everything into one platform and it just doesn't work for you for whatever reason. There's a lot of things that go into it. Great quality content, charisma, and really giving yourself more shots at bat. All things considered equal, if you have more shots at bat, you'll get more results. So I'm not suggesting you do everything under the sun. When I say everywhere, I'm not talking about being on the moon and being on billboards and doing radio and all this stuff, but I'll break down a couple of strategic places. And so that's why you need to be everywhere. But also human behavior has changed. If you even look at big companies, Sony, got my Sony camera in front of me, Apple, Microsoft, these different companies, McDonald's, they realize that they need to be everywhere. And they are big companies. And you may think, well, they have the budget and the resources to do that. Yes. But also, if these companies understand they need to be everywhere to generate top of funnel awareness and interest from new people, or even just to remind existing people, so do you. It's going to be so much harder for you with your business that I assume is smaller than those companies to really be seen if you're not everywhere as well. So when I say everywhere, I mean social media. And let me give you some examples. So you could have a YouTube channel, you could have LinkedIn, you could have Instagram, you could have TikTok, you could have Twitter, you could have, Facebook. So I'm not suggesting you be on every social media like Pinterest and everything under the sun, but pick a few. Pick a few places to be visible. And so 3 that I really focus on here are YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And so you'll be creating content for these platforms. And people will come in top of funnel, middle of funnel, you can nurture them, and bottom of funnel as well. And so when you have these other platforms, I'm not recommending you be on every single one under the sun. However, let's say you create YouTube videos maybe twice a week. Maybe you do a LinkedIn post once a day. And maybe you do an Instagram reel. Let's say you're doing that once a day as well. Well, now you can create content for these platforms, really optimize it. And then, so I'm not suggesting you post the same thing on all of these, but then you can repurpose some. And some people might think, well, I don't want to really repurpose Instagram to TikTok or my LinkedIn to my Twitter or my LinkedIn to my Facebook. These are going to be your main bread and butter. Not necessarily these three, but whatever you decide is for you. And the rest, it's just icing on top of the cake. It's pretty much like spreading your seed, right? Why not put this out in a few different places, but we do want to make sure it's optimized and reasonable for the platform. You don't want to put maybe an hour-long video on Twitter. It could convert, but for most people, it's not going to. Or same thing with Instagram there. So that's why you need to be everywhere to give yourself more shots at bat. And like I said, it wasn't that way before. But now, with the sheer amount of competition, when I first started Facebook, I would do live videos and I was getting thousands of views on every single one. I would post a selfie. I like the way I look, but I'm not an attractive woman, right? And I was getting 3, 4, 500 likes and comments, and people were turning into leads. But this was back before. This was before even stories were possible on those platforms. So that's why you need to be everywhere. Next, the way people buy has changed. That kind of ties into that. The way people used to buy, I would put something up on Facebook with a call to action. People would come through it. They would book a call. They would buy. I'd put a call to action. They might go to a sales page. They would buy. I'd create a live video, 20, 30 minutes long. I'd give a call to action to message me. People were messaging like crazy. And transparently, I noticed this myself in my own business. Those numbers started to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. And yes, there's competition, which makes us all better. It can be a bit annoying, but makes us all better. But also the way fundamentally in which people buy has changed. They're not just coming straight through and booking a call and buying. They've had bad experiences. They've had rubbish programs. They've been burnt. They've been scams. There's all these things now. So the way people buy is a much longer sales cycle. So right here, longer, need a new pen, sales cycle. And what we can do is play into that psychology. Instead of thinking, oh, well, I only want the people who are ready right now. I'm cool to let them come into the sales cycle. I will nurture them for longer. And I recommend you do the same as well, because fundamentally, that's the way that it's changed in which people buy. Some people will say that's not the case, but anyone doing big numbers will know that is true. So since that's changed, it looks more like this now. Somebody will maybe come across Instagram. They'll watch a few reels. They'll disappear. They'll see some other people's. They'll come, they'll see a few more reels again. Then maybe they'll join a newsletter. Then in the newsletter, they might read a few emails. They might come and find you on YouTube or a link in your newsletter. They'll binge watch 3, 4, 5 of your videos, maybe see a bit of your VSL and then book a call. So it's taking much longer now. And that's only accomplished if you have this omnipresence. And so that ties into this. Next, the client attraction cheat code. This one is ninja. Really, the client attraction cheat code is not just seeing you everywhere. It's not just really liking your products and services. It's not just liking your content. It is actually time spent with your brand. And if you've heard me talk about this before, Google has the 7-11-4 rule, where they state that a consumer must spend 7 hours interacting with your content across 11 touch points in 4 different locations to make a purchasing decision. And so time spent with your brand is so important. If you only have posts on one platform, how are they going to get to that 7 hours? And some people might even consume 10, 15, 20, 30 hours of your content. How much easier do you think it makes it when you get onto that sales call? Those people are ready to buy at that point. And a lot of the time, they'll show up treating you like a celebrity. They can't even believe they're on the call with you. And that is the frame that you want. So the time spent with your brand. And what does this create? This creates trust. And this was one of the biggest things I said was missing in the modern landscape, is the trust. So you can't necessarily just tell somebody, hey, trust me, and post client results. Everybody does that. You can do that. But if you have this as well, it's going to build trust. And people are going to start to know, like, and trust you more, and also see you as an authority figure. They're going to know you from all the omnipresence. They're going to like you because, boy, if somebody's watching 5, 10, 15 hours of your content, they'd have to be a bloody lunatic to do that if they don't like you. And slowly they will like you more and more. They will trust you. intuitively and see you as an authority figure. So this one is an absolute cheat code. And we've just seen our numbers increase dramatically through doing this, including our closing percentage as well. So this is the client attraction cheat code. Must install that into your business, please. To do this, and you'll see how each one ties into the next, is the 3 content types. Now, miss one of these and it's game over. 3 content types. We want to think, before I write that, we want to think about how do people consume content? Maybe tell me in the comments or just think to yourself, how do people consume content? Well, you're watching this video right now, and YouTube is the biggest video streaming platform on the planet. People just binge watch sometimes. So people watch long form content. I think it's pretty fair to say they watch long form video. Then short form has really had a dramatic rise as well. So short form video. And then the other way is written content. Not so much blogs anymore, but people are reading LinkedIn, people are reading Facebook, maybe just a bunch of old people on there, but there's a lot of business owners on there as well, especially if you're in the B2B crowd or if you target people who are a bit older, that's great. So we have written as well. And I want you to target all of them. Let's say you are just doing long form video. That is fantastic, and you will build a fantastic business, but it will take longer. Maybe you're not so great at video. Maybe some people in your market, they're not just ready to sit down and watch 20, 30-minute videos all the time or however long you're doing. Maybe they're consuming this while they're on the train. Maybe they can't listen to anything. So they may not come through long form. Maybe they might watch short form. But is short form really enough for people to tip up thousands of dollars? Not really. Short form is really an awareness mechanism to fuel the machine. But you still want to have it in your arsenal as well. And then written is where you can really get analytical. You can flex your expertise. You can provide breakdowns. People can consume it a lot faster. You can go through client results, different things. You can actually have a discussion with people. You can create some kind of community. So I recommend all 3. Miss one at your peril, right? You could do just videos, but trust me, you're missing out on these. Or even for myself, I noticed I mostly, until about 3-4 months ago, I was only doing written. And I built a fantastic business. I was doing some video, but it was in a Facebook group, not really on YouTube, and I wasn't doing any short form. And after seeing this, people are just really getting sucked into our world, which is kind of going to tie into the web here, and getting so much more exposure, so much more watch time, building trust all the way up the chain as well. So these 3 content types are so important. Make sure you do these. And this could look like your long form, 2 videos a week. Your short form, maybe 5, maybe 7, maybe 3. You pick a number that's going to work for you. And a written post, you could do that daily. You could do that a few times a week. You could have 4 short written posts, and you could have 3 really value-packed ones that take you 10, 15, 20 minutes to write to really flex your expertise and demonstrate that. So this is why you need the 3 content types, and I can't stress enough again, please include all of them. If you are starting from complete scratch, absolutely start with one, but then add another on and add another on. Not only is it going to help you get in front of more people and make this work, it's going to make you a really well-rounded marketer and business owner as well. And if the landscape changes, well, you're equipped because you are covering all of these bases. Next one, entering the web. Now, I bloody love this one, right? So people are coming from your top of funnel stuff. So they are coming from short form videos, maybe you're written as well. They can discover that on LinkedIn or Twitter. Even videos like this. This is longer. This is a bit more of a nurture video, but maybe you're brand new here. So that's proof that it works as well. So they enter the web. And then once they enter the web, we want them to become a lead. Becoming a lead, you can give away a lead magnet, you can give away your newsletter, you can give away a group community. Essentially, they become a lead. And that could be, like I said, through any of the various things. As you nurture them over time, with your lead magnet, with emails, or anything more middle of funnel to warm them up, they will book an appointment. Those who don't book an appointment, you may ask, well, they're just going to continue to get nurtured by your stuff, so they are still in the web. They may become a subscriber, may join your Facebook group, follow you on Instagram, connect with you on LinkedIn, on your newsletter. They are in that web. And this is a topic for another day, but you're moving people from your rented audience to your owned audience. The owned audience is a newsletter and text list. We'll get onto that another day, though. But you are moving people further down. And as you move them further down, there's more intent. Who has more intent to buy? Somebody who's just casually scrolling a reel, or somebody who actually follows you and subscribes to your videos? Somebody who follows and subscribes, or somebody who gives you their email and joins your group and starts commenting? I hope I've made my point. So now they get into your web. Once they book an appointment, then you have pre-call assets that you sell them, which we actually call our, well, really need a new pen. How did it just go from up there? Okay, which is our offer education sequence. If you can't read this, I'm sorry. Our offer education sequence. So now you're giving them a bit more value, showing them what it would be like to become a client, showing them what other clients have done, and showing how you actually work with people hands-on. So really cool. They're in that web. And then those who book, they either buy or don't buy. If they buy, then, well, guess what? You get money. If they don't buy, then we have a reactivation sequence. And this is going to get them to either book again, it's going to get them to delay that and book another time, buy further down, or we actually have something as well that we help you install, which is called multiple profit centers. Essentially, we monetize the 97% of people who won't actually buy your high ticket offer. Maybe they're not qualified. Maybe they don't trust you enough yet. We're going to pour more trust into them. We're going to make re-offers to them. So they are in this web. And just to show you they can't really get out, I mean, unless they really decide, oh, I hate you, I'm going to block you, which doesn't really happen. If they're subscribed to your videos, they're going to continue to see them. If they're following you on Instagram, they're going to continue to see your stuff. If they're subscribed to you on LinkedIn, they're going to continue to see your stuff. If you've got their email, which you should have, they're going to keep getting your newsletter and seeing your emails over and over again, and even ads, which you set up this system, and then if you want to run ads to it, absolutely, it can just add fuel to the fire as well. And since we're on the topic of ads, this is so important to have, because people think, oh, well, forget this, mate. I can just run ads to a sales page or run ads to a VSL, get them to book a call and buy. Try that, see what happens. It's not the same, guys. I used to do this myself. I used to just smash people to a VSL, and right now I have ads running, moving people to a VSL. But guess what? The trust is not there like it used to be. So conversions have gone down a little. However, once they come to the VSL, guess what? I plug them into my organic stuff. So if they're not ready to buy, while everybody else is going to try and hammer them, cool, chill out. Come spend a few hours on my YouTube. Go get your popcorn. I'm not going anywhere. So when the lead is ready, if it's not the right time, when it is the right time, guess what? I'll still be in front of them. I'll still be serving them this omnipresent content. They'll still be in the ecosystem and in that web. And a bit more of an advanced strategy, let's say, not everybody is going to be right for your high ticket offer, but when they are in your ecosystem, when they are in your web, well, guess what? If you have some paid workshops down the line, you can sell that to them. If you release a book, you can sell that to them and really blow up your sales. If you have in-person events, whatever you want to do, you can market to this list as well. And since I mentioned ecosystem, this is pretty much what we are creating. We are creating an ecosystem. You may have heard people usually say, what's the best funnel to use? Look at that, pen's working again. Which is the best funnel to use, huh? However, I would say nowadays, it's not just going to rely on a funnel. It doesn't really work anymore. Now you need a complete ecosystem. And when you create this client acquisition ecosystem like this, it is a beautiful thing. So this is getting people into the web, and I hope you can see why that is so valuable. Next one is professionalism. Now, I want you to think about this. Imagine you come across two people. Everything else equal. They both have the same value. They both have the same client results. But one person has this set up. One person is omnipresent. They're on multiple platforms. They're serving you content in different ways. They maybe have some kind of website or something you can go to. Not that website's super important, but they have these different things here. They have this community. You're on their newsletter, and they just have all these things in place. Who are you going to join? I would argue it's the person with all these things in place. And that's usually the way it goes. It just screams brand professionalism. It shows you that they are actually running this like a real business. They're not just some cowboy who just picked up and set up shop yesterday. This looks like a real business, and people want to work with professionals. Who do you take your car to? A mechanic that looks professional, or somebody who looks like they just, opened up yesterday? When you want to go to the dentist, do you go to the most professional person? You got a leak in your house. Do you call the cheapest option or the most professional? When you have this professionalism and all these things, that's when you can even charge and command high prices as well. It's really going to help. For the professionalism, this really bleeds into everything you're doing. And now we're going to cover how to do this in an hour a day. Like I said, you probably have a business you need to tend to. You probably have a social life. And let's face it, any idiot can make more money by working more hours. We want to actually systemize this and help you leverage. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be any work involved, but 1 hour a day, let's say you're doing 2 YouTube videos a week. They could be like this, maybe minimal editing. Maybe you have an editor. So you're spending the time to come up with the ideas, the topics, and then film it. If you're doing 2 a week, maybe it takes you an hour and a half of time. That's 3 hours. If you're doing a written post, long form for LinkedIn and however you repurpose it, maybe that takes you 10 minutes a day, another hour a week. We're at 4 hours a week. Maybe you have your newsletter. Maybe you send that out 3 times a week and you spend 20 minutes a time. Maybe you send it daily and you spend 10 minutes a time. Another about an hour a week. We're at 4 hours there. And then maybe some short form reels. Maybe you do 3 a week. Not going to take you an hour for each one. Maybe you do 4, maybe you do 7, or maybe you amp up the email a bit more, you reduce the reels, or maybe you do 3 times a week YouTube. It's really up to you. But that's showing you how you can do it. And then it's more about the repurposing. So the long form YouTube, that might take you some time. You're posting that on YouTube. Maybe you embed that in a blog. Maybe you have it wherever else. Or maybe you just keep it on YouTube, which is what I personally do. Then you have your LinkedIn posts. You want to optimize those for the platform. LinkedIn, you can also post it as a thread on Twitter. So then you just have your time to chop that up. And I recommend you have content batching times. Now, everybody's different. Some people work on the fly. Some people have content batching times that they do better with. But you don't want to be scrambling last minute. Oh, what am I going to write today? Or, oh, I don't have any YouTube videos in the bank and I'm feeling sick and I thought I'd be better in 2 days and this lasts for 10 days. What are you going to do then? So I recommend having this. And when you have this systemized, you can actually sit down. You can draw inspiration from everywhere. You can write all your emails within a week. You can write all your LinkedIn posts within a week. Or if you do like to do it daily, no problem. You can have that each day. I would just recommend having a bit of a backlog. And you can do this in an hour a day. And chances are this isn't even going to take you an hour a day because this assumes that you're making no content already. I'm assuming that you're probably doing something. You're probably putting something out there for your business. So this will just replace that time. Maybe it's just replacing 30 minutes and then you're adding an extra 30 on. So it's really not much, but you're going to get so much bang for your buck here. And then just to kind of share how this all turns into lead generation, which I'll probably do another video another day, but you might want to see how do people actually get into this web. YouTube, you could have your calendar or VSL in the description. You could have your lead magnet in the description. LinkedIn, you could have your header. You could have your featured. You could have call to action in your posts. Instagram, calls to action in some reels, maybe not all. Maybe you'll do a post, a carousel post once a week, once every 2 weeks. You could also have your link in bio. You could have your stories where you promote maybe once a week your newsletter, once a week work with me, once a week something else that you're promoting. And same here. Twitter, link on your pinned tweet, link in your bio, Facebook, TikTok, it's all the same stuff. But now what you're doing is you're casting this web wider and wider and wider to more and more and more top of funnel audience, and then bringing them into this web. And all of this is really just going to factor in nicely. So you've got a couple of options now with this on how to install this. You can go ahead and just take the roadmap that I laid out for you. And honestly, you can put this all in your business on your own. Or if you'd like us to work with you directly to help you install this, to give you all the proven content templates, show you how often to be creating content, actually install this web for you, help you set up the lead magnet, the offer education sequence, the pre-qualification, the multiple profit centers to monetize the 97% of people who aren't qualified, set this up really professionally and really just work with you hands-on to do it, then you can click the link in the description of the video. You can book a call with me or a team member, and we can see if and how we could help you install this into your business to just add an incredible amount of revenue and really add 100 extra leads a week to your business. That's the main goal that we have with our program. So whichever way you want to go, I hope you found this informative. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.